Hello and welcome again with SS. So we are with the geographical portion of our chapter 14, I think so. India, location, geological structure and geography part 2. So we had seen the Himalayan region, how Himalaya is there, from where to when, how many countries are covered in it. A mountain range, as I have shown you earlier in the above lectures that I have delivered to you today. Now we will continue with Peninsular Plateau. What is peninsula? This is the oldest region of India. This region appears as an inverted triangle. Triangle, as you know in geometry, as you all study, are going through it. Its average height is about 600 to 900 meters. A particular area that seems like triangle, and it is about 600 to 900 meters. Please underline this thing. Its northern part slopes towards northeast, which is evident from the flow of Chambal, Son and Damodar rivers. Chambal is a river area, valley of Chambal. Chambal is well known for the we can say rioters, Daku in Hindi or in Gujarati. The southern part slopes towards southeast. Most of area is south, hence it is also called Southern Plateau. As it is surrounded by sea on its three sides, it is called a peninsular plateau. An area which is somewhat like this, not perfectly triangle, covered, three areas are covered by sea. I am not good in drawing, so you are genius. So peninsular plateau can be divided into two parts, Malwa Plateau and Deccan Plateau. This might come in your MCQ section, so please underline this. What is Malwa Plateau? Aravalli Range is situated to the northwest part of Malwa Plateau. Aravalli Range, we can see Ambaji, this Mount Abu, this all is a range of mountain, is called Aravalli Range. It's one of the oldest ranges in the world. It is folded mountain. How it is written? Folded mountain. Folded means that is covered. Yes, it is covered mountain over there, the whole area. Mount Abu is a famous hill station on this range. It is a very beautiful and pleasant. Guru Shikhar is its highest peak and it is about 1722 meter. 1722 meter. Guru Shikhar, as maximum we all have visited Mount Abu. Even I was studying there. So we can see where we are going at Mount Abu, Nakhi Lake and many places are there, and then we are moving towards Guru Shikhar 2 to go on the topmost peak of Aravalli Ranges. The river Chambal and Betwa emerging from Vindhyachal flows northward and meets river Yamuna, while river Son flows northward and meets river Ganga. It can be known from the direction of the river flow that the region slopes northward. The northeastern part of the central upland is known as Bundelkhand. The northern area is known as Bundelkhand. Beside these rivers, Luni and Banas, also originate in the Aravalli Range in northeast. These rivers vanish in the run of curls while Sabarmati and Mahi rivers meet the Gulf of Khambar. From the flow of this river, it can be ascertained that the western part of Malwa Plateau slopes towards southern west Rajmahal Hills and Shillong Plateau are a part of Chota Nagpur Plateau, which also includes Ranchi Plateau. The whole Aravalli Hills are from this way to the southern east side. You can go through map if you will, then you will properly understand. And these areas are having different plateaus towards this. Now Deccan Plateau. What is the Deccan Plateau? The Deccan Plateau is situated to the south of Saptapuda, Mahadev and Michael ranges, which are located to the south of Malwa Plateau. The northern western parts of the plateau are composed of lava deposits. On the western side, its border is demarcated by Western Ghats, which run north-south along the Arabian Sea coast. It has several local names. It is known as Sahidri in Maharashtra and Karnataka, as Nigri in Tamil Nadu, as Annamalai and Cardamom ranges along the border of Kerala and Tamil Nadu. The southern portion of the Western Ghat is more lofty. Lofty means light. We can say lightly. Now generally the average height of the Deccan Plateau ranges between 900 to 1000 meters. But at a few places it exceeded that height. Few isolated hills having more than 900 meters of height from the eastern boundary of this plateau. This is called Eastern Ghats. It has a general slopes towards southeast, which is evident from the direction of the flow of the rivers, except rivers Narmada and Tapi, which flow westward. Most of the rivers of Deccan Plateau flow eastward and meet the Bay of Bengal. So we can say that different hills are there. These water plateaus, an area that are covering hilly portion, and from there rivers are emerged, and most of the rivers are flowing towards the ocean, except Saraswati and Banas, somewhat Rupen too. So you can understand these are the particular type of places. Don't feel confused in plateau. These are small mountain ranges that are covering somewhat area, and the ranges of these mountains are about 600 to 900 meters. Don't be confused in these plateaus. They are not important for you for your studies too. Just for your knowledge, you must know what are plateaus. Now we are going to the coastal plains. Plains along the sea coast. What are plains? Wherever the the river, the flowing water moves and developed a particular area, a fertile area, as I have told in my last lecture too. That are plains. Not planes that are flying up in the sky, not aeroplane, but these are plains, P-L-A-I-N-S, plains. Now Peninsular Plateau is surrounded by a narrow belt of plains from Kutch to Odisha. So you can understand wherever the river had flown earlier, wherever there was ocean a time, these places now has become plains. So it is divided into western and eastern coastal plain. As they are located at the coastal area, they are called coastal plains. The west coast plain is spread from Gujarat to Kerala. Except in Gujarat, the plain is mostly narrow. It is a very much undulating, and it is known as Malabar coast to the south of Goa. West coast rivers have developed creeks at their estuaries. Most of these creeks are submerged valley under river water. So what we can say that wherever river has flows earlier, either in a large area, either in a small area, or little bit long or broad area, wherever river had already flown. So river changes its way. We can understand it changes its path. So it has been flowing from thousand and thousand years. After that it changes its path, its place, etc. Yeah, due to such calamity like earthquake, volcano, etc., it moves towards another direction. So whatever the surrounding area that it had been covered earlier, these all are plains. The land is fertile over here because the river, when it's flowing, it brings mineral, vitamins, everything that is needed over there. So these all are called plains. These are formed due to the amount of the seashore. It provides favorable conditions for fishery. There are many natural ports on the western coast, which included Mumbai and Mormugao. Backwaters have developed along the southern coast of Kerala, and they are known as Kayal in local language. Please underline, backwater means whenever the sea flows in a particular area, the coastal region we can say. Backwater means water once it has been derived over here, and now there is no water, but there is a coastal area. You know that sea is moving away from land nowadays, and somewhere sea is becoming more and more towards to land. So from the place where there once upon a time there was a river, once upon a time there was a sea or water, etc., it can be said that plains area it is, and there we can develop wherever the land is there, particular type of land, and then comes the coastal area, then comes the sea which is not too deep, their fisheries, etc., are done. So east coastal plain, so the east coast plain is much broader than the west coast plain. There is a sustainable alluvial deposition in the deltas of Kaveri, Krishna, Godavari and Mahanadi. As I told earlier that there is a deposition in the deltas of Kaveri. Deposition of what? Alluvial means the soil that is useful for farming, good for agriculture, etc. we can say. Its northern coast is known as Northern Saikar coast, and the Tamil Nadu coast is known as Coromandel coast. So yet you can understand the coastal area where, from the route where the rivers are coming towards the sea, from where the sea has moved towards another area, that are plains, and these are having alluvial soil, that soil which is more affordable for farming, etc. Now archipelagos. There are few archipelagos in India. Andaman, Nicobar and Lakshadweep are major archipelagos. Among them, there are many smaller islands in Lakshadweep, and these are located at some distance of Kerala coast. These islands have a heart shape. Such coral islands are called atolls. You can underline this thing. Andaman Nicobar Islands are situated in the Bay of Bengal. Here the number of islands is also more, and 3 are situated very far from Indian coast. There are few mountain ranges, some of which are formed due to the volcanic activity. These islands are spread over 350 kilometers and have a strategic importance. So we can say, we all know Andaman Nicobar islands are there, not a particular one island. There are different islands that have been emerged, and they are Indian islands. So we deserve Lakshadweep, Andaman Nicobar Islands too. There are about area of about 350 kilometers. Mountains are also there. These islands are developed through volcanic reaction in the sea, we can say. Land. Like to know, the only active volcano in India is Burin Island in Andaman Nicobar archipelago. Narkodam, which is very near to it, is a dormant volcano. Dormant means small volcano, we can say. And the live today Active volcano we can say barren. Visit this island once. Superb. If you are fond of nature, if you want to understand what is nature, go towards this Andaman Nicobar Island as plan with family after this colonial effect. So let's move further. Thus, there is a diversity in the physical features of India. Every region has its own distinct characteristics, and yet all regions are interconnected. All of them have important contribution in the progress of the nations and are useful in the forest resources. Northern fertile plains are also called storehouse of grains. Southern plateau is rich in many mineral resources which has enhanced national progress. Many rivers with large volume of water originate in the northern mountains region, which is also known for a variety of forest resources. So we can say the northern fertile plains towards the northern part of India, that gives rich granary to us, means grains are developed over there. The southern part we can say it gives lots and lots of mineral and etc. essential things to us. Apart from that, the northern mountains are there. They gives us a variety of forest resources. No doubt geographically India's structure is different at somewhat extent, but it gives us lots and lots of things, especially natural resources. Now, what is rock? A composite material made up of one or more mineral is called a rock. Please underline this thing. Rocks can be hard as well as soft. They can be porous or non-porous and can be light or heavy in weight. Various types of rocks are formed due to the different processes. Rock can be divided into three categories of the basic of their formation. They are igneous rock, stratified rock, and metamorphic rocks. So what is rocks? The rock, a composite matter made up of one or more mineral is called a rock. Composite means pressed one. How rocks are formed? Different kinds of being, mineral, etc. are located in a particular place and they are compressed for thousands and thousands years, and then it becomes a rock. So there are three types of rock. Rocks can be harder, smaller, larger, big, softer also. We can get soft rock also. So there are different types of rocks, and which are there? Igneous, stratified, and metamorphic. Here there is given a structure over there. Rock, three kinds of rock. What are? Igneous, igneous, both of you can pronounce. We will go through igneous, intrusive, extrusive, volcanic, plutonic, hypoglycal. There are stratified inorganic, chemically formed, inorganic, chemically formed, organic, arenaceous, conglomerate, argillaceous. Then in their organic are calcareous, carbonaceous, and metamorphic are contact and rigid. So you can understand different type of rocks are there. Some are based through chemical, some are naturally. Let us go on page number 110 and clarify what are the rocks. Which are the igneous rocks? The intense heat in the interior of the earth is responsible for the formation of this rock. So you can understand the chemical reaction. The heat that is in the earth, and by this heat some rocks are developed. the intense heat in the interior of the earth is responsible for the formation of these rocks. The interior of the earth remain very hot due to this heat, so the matter here is in semi-liquid state, which is called a magma. Eventually, when this magma cools down, rocks are formed. So you can understand that there is lots of, as we all know, lava is there in the interior of earth. And when these rocks, when this lava, when this heat is continuously towards a particular type, towards a particular type, a shape of a rock, a substance we can say. Here it is written magma. And semi-liquid state, it is in not liquid, not solid, but it is in semi-liquid state. But when it cools down, it becomes a rock. Hence these are called igneous, means Agneya rock. In the formation of the crust of the earth, these rocks were formed earlier, so they are called primary rocks. So why? Due to the formation of the earth, when earth was formed, the first category of rocks were this has been established, so they are called primary rocks too. Now stratified rocks, how they are developed? Igneous rocks disintegrate due to the collective effect of water and other forces. These are also known as sedimentary rocks. The broken rock material is constantly deposited in water and they form a layer. So earlier, due to the heat of the earth, rocks were formed in a semi-liquid, and then when there is a cold, when they are cooled down, they becomes primary rock. Here there is another stratified rocks, means igneous rocks disintegrate due to the collective effect of water. When such semi-solid substance are coming through water, and you know water, when the flow of water again and again touches, covers the rock, small particles of rocks are collected on a particular place, and then they form a big rock. So such like these are also known as sedimentary rocks. The broken rock material is constantly deposited in water and they form a layer. Thus, rock material is deposited into different layers. The upper layer exerts pressures on the layer of the underlying rock, which are formed initially and are lying at the bottom, and eventually rocks are formed with different layers. These are called stratified rocks. Its examples are gypsum, limestone and coal. Coal and gypsums are obtained from Bihar and Jharkhand state. Please underline this thing. So when there is a formation of igneous rock, semi-solid rock, and when they are cooled down, then thoroughly flowing of water takes away some parts, some little bit parts of this rock and deposit it in a particular place by layered. It's a long process of lots and lots of 1,000 years, 2,000 years, 5,000 years, more than lakh years. So this process continuously is done, and layer by layer it has been developed. Just we can get the coal and limestone, etc. So thus the formation of stratified rocks are there. Now metamorphic rocks, which are they? In certain peculiar conditions, the forms, compositions and other characteristics of rocks are totally changed due to the combined effect of two factors, high temperature and pressure of the rock strata, the igneous and sedimentary rocks change to a totally new form. These newly formed rocks are known as metamorphic rocks. Marble and quartzite available in Rajasthan are the best example. So two formations, the igneous and stratified, both are done thoroughly to and fro, we can say, again and again, and a particular type of rocks is developed, that is metamorphic, made of carbon, calcium and sulfate, we can say. Whatever marble we are using, not plain marble that of glasses, but the marble that we are using to make temple, in our home, etc. This type of rocks are there. They are metamorphic rock because they passes through two conditions, igneous and stratified too. And due to lots and lots of pressure over there, in both the condition, a formation of marble, formation of metamorphic rocks is done. Now mineral. Mineral is that matter which is formed due to the natural, organic or inorganic process and has a specific chemical composition. What we get in minerals? In minerals, obviously we get different type of chemical. Whatever food we are eating, doctors used to prescribe, have vitamin, mineral, tablet, etc. What are these minerals and these all? Each and every component consists of different type of chemical. Our body is full of chemical. When we are ill, means there is a lack of particular type of chemical in our body. Ill because of somewhat the portion of a particular chemical is being raised. So this is the chemical formation of this thing. Such type of thing is mineral contains. Then what? Minerals are available from the interior of the earth in solid, liquid and gaseous form. Mineral depends on the geological structure of the surface of the earth. Minerals such as iron, copper, nickel, gold, silver, etc. are found in igneous rock. Coal, mineral, oil and natural gas, etc. are available from stratified rocks, while slate, marble, diamond, etc. are available from metamorphic rock. So three types of rock, igneous, stratified and metamorphic. These three certain conditions of rock gives us certain types of mineral. As we can say, the first igneous rock, that process is little bit, we can say long. Stratified rock is a longer process, and metamorphic rocks, formation of this thing is little more longer and longer. Three processes are there of different type of three rocks. One is, number one, igneous is formed due to the heat. Semi-solid substance comes into existence with cold, etc. Then the formation is there. Then again the deposition of these rocks, the little particles, particles of this thing are just flown through the water, layer and layers and layers are developed over there, and then we are having stratified rocks, and then with material, metamorphic rocks are then formed after lots and lots of both of process, igneous and stratified, with a long process, with a long similarity, we can say period of time, deposition, weight, carrying organic and inorganic substance too. Then we form this thing, and from this thing we get minerals. So three rocks are considered the mineral efficiency that we get from the resources. Now, classification of minerals. How minerals are classified? As we all know, there are three types of rocks, their deposition, etc. So classifying of minerals we will continue in our second session. Till then, thank you very much.